I still think the Chiefs are the team to beat just because they find different ways to beat you every week. Patrick Mahomes is always going to have you as the favorite going into that game.
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Happy Friday. I'm Hayley Lewis, and this is Chiefs News Daily. What a week it has been for Kansas City. Postseason baseball wrapping up in KC. The Chiefs enjoying some much-needed R&R while the front office potentially goes shopping for a trade. We're going to check in with one NFL insider who brings us some inside information from some NFL scouts and who he thinks the Chiefs might be eyeing. Plus, we break down the AFC contenders and show you some trending posts on X. First, give us a like and subscribe right here on the KCSN YouTube channel, and let's get into it. Well, the Chiefs are utilizing some time away from the practice field this week while the team rests during their bye week. It's an early bye week that most of us complained about when the schedule was actually released, and now it's turned out to be perfect timing for the reigning Super Bowl champs. 3 offensive keys remain sidelined for Kansas City due to injury, while the defense has continued to thrive every single week. Kansas City's going to resume play next Sunday, so that's going to be on October 20th. They're going to be on the road against the 49ers, who we all got to check out a little bit last night during some Thursday night football. Now, San Francisco will have the home field advantage and a little extra time for rest, but the runners-up haven't been able to elude the injury bug. The 49ers are dealing with their own fair share of setbacks as well. Star running back Christian McCaffrey headlining their injury-ridden lineup, dealing with an Achilles injury. Jordan Mason has replaced the All-Pro running back while McCaffrey works to get back. Mason, though, injured his left shoulder in the second quarter of last night's 36-24 win. And he tried to return in the second half, but quickly exited again due to some discomfort and had to watch from the sidelines the remainder of the game. Now, we did get an update on his injury after the game, but a more pressing update came out this morning via Adam Schefter. He shared that the NFL's leading rusher, 49ers running back Jordan Mason, is believed to have suffered a sprained AC joint during Thursday night's win at Seattle. That is not considered serious, though, but he will undergo further testing today per sources, so we'll have to wait and see what comes from that testing. Now, former Chiefs corner Charvarius Ward is also sidelined. He didn't play last night with a knee injury. The 49ers also played without their starting kicker, Jake Moody. The team's latest injury report also ruled out linebacker Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles with a calf injury and defensive tackle Jordan Elliott with a knee injury. 49ers safety Talanoa Hufanga is headed to the injured reserve. They announced that earlier this week. Now, on top of it, also wide receiver Chris Conley is nursing an oblique injury. So on Monday, we're going to get to check in with both teams. The Chiefs are going to get back to their normal Monday media availability with head coach Andy Reid. That will be on the 14th of October. And we'll bring you the latest as we gear up for Week 7's Super Bowl rematch.
You know when you discover a new binge-worthy show or a song that you bump on repeat and you have to share it with your friends so they can experience just how awesome it is? That's kind of what it feels like when you discover Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's such an awesome deal, there's no way you can keep it to yourself. Friends don't let friends overpay for wireless. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plan and switch to Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you and your squad with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/KCSNCND. That's mintmobile.com/KCSNCND. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/KCSNCND. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
All right, it is time for a special segment on this Friday edition of Chiefs News Daily. My buddy Matt Lombardo is going to join me. Matt's a national NFL reporter. He's the founder of Between the Hash Marks. He's covered the NFL for various outlets since 2011, including being a beat reporter covering the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. He's also covered 5 Super Bowls, so he knows a thing or two about a winning culture. He's going to help us break down potential trade targets for the Kansas City Chiefs ahead of the NFL deadline and AFC contenders, Kansas City, who they should keep on their radar. Let's welcome Matt to the show. you're an NFL insider. You're talking with execs. You know a little bit about the inside beat. So are you seeing Brett Veach and the Kansas City Chiefs finding another wide receiver by that trade deadline? Or what are you hearing that's going on right now?
Yeah, Hayley, it's pretty remarkable because if we had this conversation a week ago, I would have told you that Brett Veach and Andy Reid and the Chiefs should have been all in on going to get the top wide receiver, maybe two available after Rashee Rice's injury. But you look at Monday night and Andy Reid decides to scrap the entire offensive system and they roll with 8 tight ends on the field at times. They have Kareem Hunt. They found this new identity. So I'm not so sure that the Chiefs need to be major players because they seem to be able to get rolling with this look offense that they debuted on Monday night. But with that said, you know, you can talk what you want about Tyreek Hill and whether or not that has any legitimacy, but I had an AFC scouting director basically out of nowhere suggest to me last week that Hill could be a possibility for the Chiefs because the Miami Dolphins seem to be in this pause mode. They seem to be on pause waiting for Tua Tagovailoa, whether he's going to play, whether he's going to be forced to retire. And if they decide to tear it all down, Tyreek Hill back to the Chiefs makes a lot of sense. You know that he fits the offense and all of those things. But if we're looking at more realistic options, I have to wonder, Hayley, if the Cleveland Browns lose to the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday afternoon, do they become sellers? And Amari Cooper's contract is now immensely more tradable after they converted $12 million in salary into a signing bonus. Cooper would be a great fit. DeAndre Hopkins never made a lick of sense signing in Tennessee. He would be that ideal red zone target along with Travis Kelce. I think Hopkins makes some sense, but the name to watch, the team that I think is most likely to sell, would be the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you look at Christian Kirk. He's kind of an analytics darling. People love him after the catch. The metrics are great. He's a playmaker. He could be a guy that could be an ideal complement to a guy like Xavier Worthy's speed.
Now, we looked into Kirk a little bit earlier this week. How would Kirk fit into Kansas City from a money standpoint?
Yeah, I think when you get to this time of year, Hayley, it all comes down to you have a lot of sign and trades, you have a lot of restructures, and Patrick Mahomes' track record under this current contract has been whenever the Chiefs need that flexibility, he says, let's go in and let's rework the deal. Let's move the money around. Let's get it done. Let's just bring the weapons here. So if they believe that Christian Kirk can be that complementary weapon to Xavier Worthy, if he's going to be the guy who's going to exploit zone coverages and, know how to read those defenses and become that playmaker after the catch, it wouldn't surprise me at all knowing that this is that once in the lifetime, once in the generation opportunity for Patrick Mahomes to go and win 3 straight rings, to make history as the first ever three-peat, that if the Chiefs need some sort of salary cap relief or financial help, it wouldn't shock me at all if Mahomes says, do what you have to do. Let's move some money around for me. We'll worry about that later.
This is probably the worst game we're going to play all year. So if this is their best that they got, good luck in the postseason.
Now let's talk about the rest of the AFC, right? They got to get through that first to be able to get to the big stage. And the AFC looks a lot different than it did going into this season. Who are the contenders? Who does Kansas City need to be able to beat? Who really poses a threat?
Yeah, Haley, you said it best. The AFC looks a lot different 5 weeks in than it did going into the season, where everybody thought it was going to be a gauntlet with Miami and Buffalo and Cincinnati and Baltimore and all these teams. I think the biggest threat, this has changed almost every week. It seems like every week there's a new quote-unquote best team in the NFL, best team in the AFC. I still think the Chiefs are the team to beat just because they find different ways to beat you every week. Patrick Mahomes is always going to have you as the favorite going into that game. But for the Chiefs, I think it's really a collision course with the Baltimore Ravens, because I spoke to an AFC scout on Sunday afternoon after the Bengals game, and he said what impresses him the most and what makes Baltimore most dominant right now is that the Ravens are running the ball the way Derrick Henry likes to run it. You look at the 199-yard game the week before against the Bills where they ran them out of the building. Then they proved that they can win in comeback fashion in a shootout against the Bengals. I think the Ravens are the most complete team right now. I still think the Houston Texans are a team to take seriously with C.J. Stroud and all of those weapons, even though Nico Collins is now out. You have Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs is always going to be somebody you have to be mindful of. And that defense is really underrated with what they built with Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. So I think that the Ravens and the Texans will be the teams that I'd be most worried about for the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, guys, that does it for another episode of Chiefs News Daily. As always, like and subscribe right here on the KCSN YouTube channel. Make sure you enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday to kick off Week 7. Have a good one.